Aloha.
Just takes a minute. Got nothing but time over here. Whoop, whoop. Hello and welcome. We're back from theballerlifestyle.com. It's the Baller Lifestyle Podcast. My name is Brian Beckner. Thank you very much for joining us. Episode number 603 of the podcast. We appreciate you tuning in and listening. We would love it if you subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/theballerlifestyle podcast. That's where you can get all the bonus content we do each and every week. Plus my solo show, Bonus Bry, where I cry about being sober and stuff. It's fun. It's fun. It gets a good reaction. But I'd only do that private. I wouldn't do that here for everybody. That'd be embarrassing. But in private, when I'm just in my room by myself, it's like no one's there. And you know who is there? The Patreon fans. Patreon.com/theballerlifestyle podcast. We love you. I'm joined now, as always, by Mr. Ed Daly. Ed, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, are you?
I'm doing better than I just read this like 2 minutes ago. Giants defensive end Abdul Carter. He was the stud pass rusher they got out of Penn State.
Okay. I remember, yeah. He was a high draft pick.
Yeah, like he was going to be the next Micah Parsons.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He will miss the first drive tonight for disciplinary reasons after getting caught watching porn in a team meeting when his headphones disconnected. Buddy, what are you doing? Watching porn? Like, it's one thing if they said, well, he was just not checked. Like, he was checked out. He just was not. He's watching porn?
Yeah, that's
like with
actually
all the
crazy.
The defensive, maybe it's the linebacker room or whatever room it is. He's watching porn.
Porno. Yeah, hopefully this isn't another Kellen Winslow Jr. situation, because we know how that.
It's early in his career for this to be happening. He just got drafted.
Also, he's going full volume, which is like right. I get, okay, maybe you're sneaking in. You're like, hey, look, I want to see some puss right now. You know, I could look at some puss right now. But you go sans audio in that situation, because it just, you never know. Sometimes you hit a wrong button. Sometimes you're accidentally linked up to some Bluetooth that you forgot about, and you're like, where's the sound? And you're hitting the volume, and somebody's getting a little in their fucking headphones because you borrowed their AirPods one time. You just can't. So you shut that audio down right away, and then you do this. You're like, you got the phone, right? You got the phone, and you make sure nobody's behind you.
Right.
You can't. They're not catching an angle. Yeah, you put it. You go
Tim
down
Robinson
here with it.
Did a whole thing where he's like,
yes, exactly. Wild decision making.
I'm doing better than him. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good. I noticed I'm wearing my Hamilton Ticats hat today, which I'm pretty proud of. And also, Ed, unlike you, I'm not a tea drinker, but tonight, I don't know. I was just craving a little.
Oh, yeah.
Just had a little green tea with a little.
Gorgeous.
For the instrument, I just got a little. My new mug.
That's a beautiful mug.
Yeah. Mean person ToeCutter sent me a very nice. Just shipping this to my house cost $20, by the way. I looked at I noticed on the thing. So very kind. Thank you, ToeCutter, for your woke up gay again mug that you sent me. That and then I made the mistake of leaving my woke up gay again mug, which came with with my own gay card. I made the mistake of leaving these things on the counter, and Ryan Beckner, who the audience will be familiar with, she noticed them too, of course, because she misses nothing, and she was like, hey, Dad, you should probably put that card in your wallet in case you ever need to be resuscitated, which I thought was not very nice. And then later I was wearing some white pants, and she's like, oh, Dad, I like your pants. Those will go good with your new mug. which is very extremely hurtful. But thank you, ToeCutter, for my new woke up gay again mug that I got over. Oh fuck! I didn't set the timer. Giving out free content here. Yeah.
Coincidentally.
Yeah. Tell me. Oh, do you have your gay mug?
No, it's a chilly night.
Gay mugs.
It's a chilly night right now, and I forgot to make tea before the show. I was like, oh, the show's starting. Oh, no tea tonight. So just water.
I would have waited for you, buddy. Okay, I set the timer.
It's fine.
30 minutes. Let's talk about some people who died. No, wait. Just tell you what, I'm liking this green tea. I might make this a new routine for me. Great antioxidant benefits.
I'm an Earl Grey man.
I know. You are.
Very sad.
It will not be an update on who's alive. Let's get a tragic update.
Tragic update.
Sunset Daily has been keeping up on who just died. Cause we're about to hear from Ed on which celebrities are dead. So tell me who died.
Ed,
Tell me who died.
who died this week?
I just looked up now.
Oh.
Pro Football Hall of Fame. Lem Barney has not died. Remember, we discussed that the Pro Football Hall of Fame sent out an RIP, and then his family's like, he's not dead yet. So maybe next week.
He survived the weekend, which is crazy.
Yeah, we both were talking that this was going to be a sundown by Sunday.
Yeah, usually it's like you got a 72-hour window. I believe Jerry Lee Lewis, when he got that clean bill of health, he was gone within 48 to 72, which is a good amount of time. That's the chalk amount of time you have left once they announce you're still alive.
Congrats on still being alive, Lem Barney.
Congratulations.
R.I.P. Lynn Hamilton. She played Red Fox's girlfriend on Sanford and Son. 95.
I liked when she went with the shotgun and then she fucking stabbed the guy and the psychiatrist with the thing and held it to his neck and then made her way out of the building. She was a fucking badass.
She was
Lynn
good.
Hamilton. Yeah. Very good. R.I.P. Very sad.
95. Nice run.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Grandma the Galapagos tortoise at the San Diego Zoo. 141. This 141.
141.
This tortoise saw the rape of the Congo, saw genocide, said nothing. Said nothing. Was just like totally non-committal. Non-committal on the Holocaust. Just kept doing shit really slowly.
Hung around eating grass.
Yeah. Didn't give a shit. Didn't give a shit about all of the famine and torture. Yeah.
What could she do? What could she do? She moves at like half a mile an hour.
She showed no displeasure. She showed no displeasure.
I mean, she doesn't speak. We barely understand her consciousness. It's crazy that there's we don't know fucking how long animals live. Ed. There's a white shark, or it's not a white shark. It might be like a nurse shark or one of the big ass sharks in like Greenland area that they think is 600 years old, Ed. 600.
What are we supposed to do with that? That's too much.
What are we supposed to? Why do we think we're important? Why do we think we fucking matter? There's shit that's 600. There's trees that are 10,000 years old, Ed. Like what? Like we think we matter? We think we're something? Why? Because we can manipulate our environment? Because we can make cars and fucking iPhones and shit? Get the fuck out of here.
The ShamWow guys running for Congress. We're not a serious culture in any way.
We're absolutely not. In Texas, by the way, I thought the ShamWow guy was like Israeli or something. What? He's
I don't
Texas?
Know. I don't know. He's running for the grand old party. I know that.
Unbelievable.
R.I.P. Randy Jones, Padres. I think he was their first Cy Young winner, and he also played for the Mets. 75 years old. And just when I first clicked on his obit, the beautiful uniforms of the 70s Padres.
Yeah, the yellow and brown.
Just beautiful.
Just gorgeous. Now they wear those City Connects, which they got the worst city.
Like pink. They've got like weird colors to it, right?
Yeah, they're like Miami Vice colors. They're like light pink and teal and yellow, which is just like
What do you have the gorgeous brown and yellow?
what are we? Go the all yellow. Go head to toe yellow with brown accents like they used to do back in the day. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then someone died, a famous former golf champion, Fuzzy Zeller, 74 years old. He was just kind of a known commodity, and then Tiger Woods won the Masters.
Right.
And this guy was like,
297.
hey, I'm not sure what my legacy is right now, but let me make my legacy be a racist. Because he was like, hey, what are they going to start serving fried chicken and collard greens at Augusta? And like, that was it. That's the last I heard of him.
Yeah. Now, there's two things here. First of all, he was 74 this week.
Oh, yeah. I thought in 97 he was 74.
Unfucking believable. This might be the craziest one we've ever seen. Because in 1997, I thought he was like in his 70s.
So we're older now.
Yes.
Than he was when he made that comment?
Yes. That's crazy. The man was in his 40s. That's insane. First of all, Fuzzy Zeller. Now, there was a detail about what Fuzzy Zeller said, because he said, tell him not to serve fried chicken and collard greens. Now, it turns out, like, if the Masters winner doesn't pick the meal, that's like the go-to meal that they serve, fried chicken and collard greens, because it's in. So he had a way to like back out of it, except
he doubled down.
No, the full quote is, he said, tell that little boy not to serve fried chicken and collard. So it's like you can't really step back from the fried chicken and collard greens and go, hey, that's just what they serve, when you start it with a little boy. You just can't, like, there's just no cleaning that up. But my God, man, 74 now? That has to be a typo, Ed.
Right.
He's 95 years old. There's no way that man is only in his 70s.
Also,
yes.
Who's upset about being served fried chicken?
Delicious. So good.
The best. It's the best.
So good. It's so good. And it's not something you run into all the time. So when you do run into it,
you appreciate
it's such a nice surprise. You're like, wait, it's Wednesday night. They do fried chicken on Wednesday nights here? I'm getting the fried chicken. Bring me that fried chicken. Yeah, I am in all day long. I love fried chicken. Okay, Ed, let's talk some sports.
My name is Brian. They call me the other guy. I host a podcast show. I'll give hetero life a try. If you see something on my hand that makes you think I'm not a man, it's just my cool rings, you see. They're as sparkly as can be. I might own Troy on DVD.
Ed, you kind of fucked us because you put a lot of because last week we did the Thanksgiving special episode of 90210, which fun. I really have to encourage people to go listen to. I thought it was so good. It was so funny. Jay Stu delivered as always. It was a super fun episode. Ed Daly gave us all the fucking details on everybody's life in the 90210 universe. I swear to God, I didn't realize that it carried on so long after high school. I thought it was like mostly high school, and then they just, I thought it was one of those deals where they made high school last 6 years for some reason, and then there was 1 year when they were at the Beverly Hills Beach Club and they were going to see you, and that was it. It turns out they were not in high school most of the time. Crazy.
Yeah, they were young professionals.
Unbelievable. My guy Steve Sanders. I mean, this man fucks. The guy rules. It was just such a great episode. And Jay Stu, I mean, what a hero to all the listeners. The guy delivers every single time. So go back and listen to that episode 602. What I was going to say is, Ed, you fucked us by putting all these stories. We got so many stories to talk about, and I'm only given 30 minutes here. We got 20 left.
Bang, bang. Let's go. It. Browns. This happened yesterday. Browns. Yep. Shelby Harris fires off an explosive rant on 49ers receiver Jauan Jennings. The hoe. He clarified, and they're like, "What?" And he's like, "No, I need you to know he's a hoe."
He's a hoe.
So I guess there was some shit talking or some.
Was he behaving like me in February to June of this year? Is that what they're trying to say, or they're just saying he's not very masculine? Is what he's saying. That's the kind of hope.
I think that's what he's saying.
You know, that doesn't really work when you lose 26-8. You know, like you can call somebody a hoe if you defeat them on the field of play.
Absolutely wipe the floor with them, but no, he lost badly.
Yeah.
And remember, there was like after Shedeur Sanders had that first game, and there was like, hey, maybe he's the real deal. And then they got raced this weekend. Yeah. Maybe not.
Great. Yeah, it was against the Raiders, right? Like the Browns were good against the Raiders, who everybody's good against.
Yeah. But against a decent team, no.
Yeah, no.
This was wild. Patrick Beverley, I believe he's no longer in the league, but he was accused of choking and punching his 15-year-old sister after he caught her sneaking around with her boyfriend. Patrick, what are you into, buddy?
What's going on?
It's one thing if you say, like, all right, this is inappropriate, but he beat up her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Beat up his sister.
It's actually crazy. Why? Look, and also, by the way, this guy was not a good player. Like he was
just famous for talking shit.
Yeah.
And like he would go after very famous players and just say he's better than them and they suck. Yeah. And
now I think he has a podcast. I think he's on Barstool. Right. I think he is in the Barstool universe. Right. Like, but who's like, again, I mean, we've been doing this so long, and you know, it's a static endeavor. Meanwhile, this fucking Pat Bev, comes along and he gets a show on Barstool, and like, what the fuck does he have to say, Ed? And then he beats up his, and also
now
he has
I'm curious what he has
old
to say because he's clearly got some feelings for this 15-year-old sister.
What's he gonna say on his podcast? And you know how I would like to get Jay Stu's take on this, because you know how he feels about athletes having podcasts. He doesn't like it.
Right. I wonder where he stands on retired athletes. Is that okay?
Yeah, he might be okay with it. Yeah.
It still takes the focus away from the game.
He does want us to call him, but we'd have to call him every week, which I'm not going to do.
Right. We got to spread it out.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck Pat Bev, by the way. Fuck him before he beat up his sister. Fuck anybody that's really obsessed with the sex lives of young females. Like you want to keep people safe and protected. That's one thing, but you're gonna smack her around for having the normal urges that all human beings have. Shut the fuck up, Pat Beverley.
Right.
Fuck
Let
you.
her live.
Let her live.
Carmel, California wasn't. What's his name? Clint Eastwood, the mayor.
He was the mayor of that. Yeah.
Anyway, it could be the first city to permanently ban pickleball.
It's
too noisy. I love it.
I love this.
It's too noisy.
Carmel is very quaint. I would suggest
I've
anybody
driven through there.
Yes, it's very, you know, like the median home price is like $9 million or something. It's crazy. That's
why I only drove through. Didn't spend
exactly. That's the extent of my visits to Carmel as well. But look, fuck this pickleball. There's a pickleball, you know, sometimes I take a walk over here and there's a park right over here by my house. And every fucking night there's hundreds of people there just, what is it? And also I don't like how the courts are like temporary. You know, I don't like, there's 4 courts on a tennis court. I don't like that you could just wheel out some shit. It looks bitch to me. Like get a fixed fucking court or shut the fuck up and leave. Or I got an idea. You're on a tennis court. How about you play some fucking tennis? Okay. Pickleball. Right. Get the fuck out of here. Play tennis.
Man. I one of my buddies is friends with a physical therapist. I may have mentioned this before, and he said pickleball has been the biggest boon to his profession because all these olds go out there and they blow out their knees and ankles.
Yeah, they're not. They're blowing Achilles out. You know, they're not. Yeah. When was the last time they did a hard fucking plant and jerk and change directions? Like, just calm the fuck down on this pickleball. It'll be gone. You know, there's been other things that got popular. I'm remiss in being able to think of one, but there's other things that came and went.
It'll go the way of fidget spinners.
There you go. That's one.
We've talked about him a lot, and he just keeps making news. The week leading up to UNC Duke football game, he was spotted at his 24-year-old his girlfriend's adult cheerleading competition. It's not like a team. They now like cheer for contests. She was previously in beauty pageants. Now they're like adults, and he's sitting there, and then of course they lost to Duke.
That's not real. There's adult cheerleading competitions. There's no way that's real.
Yeah. People are crazy.
Like
there are certain things that you just like once you run out of eligibility of whatever it is. Like I played my last high school football game, and then it's like, okay, this chapter of my life is over.
It's over.
If I was good enough to play college, I would have continued, but then it was like, it's over. Cheerleading, they're not even cheering for a team or something.
Yes.
It's one thing if there are 24-year-olds cheering for the 49ers and the Cowboys, that's different. This is like they're in these little like contests.
Look,
cheer against each other.
It's insane. Like if you are so you're like a tumbler or whatever, like you have a gymnastics background. Guess what? You go do CrossFit. Like make it an athletic endeavor.
You don't have to be done with doing something physical. Yes. But cheerleading, like there's a time, unless you're the best of the best and you're the Cowboys cheerleader, your cheerleading career is over.
Yeah, it's over. That reminds me, and I was watching the my Horns, Hook'em, the Texas Longhorns, with that big upset of A&M over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I was explaining to my girlfriend Ilana, I was like, hey, see these guys over here? I'm like, they practice this yelling that they're doing. And then I showed her some videos, and she was like,
I hope you prepared her, because like that's jarring to see that for the first time and not know what's coming.
Yeah. And also she's the type of person that she's very kind, she's not a judgmental person in any way. And I just opened it and I'm like, here, look at this thing. And she's like, oh my God. Yeah. This is so gay.
They do this on purpose.
They do it on purpose. And you know what I've learned? They don't have lady cheerleaders there. They only have the boy dudes that do the stuff. That's what I read. That's what I read when I was showing her the videos. I'm like, A&M doesn't have lady cheerleaders.
They love their knees up.
They do their high knees. And Ed, I didn't know this. They practice their cheers. They get the whole stadium filled up with people, and then they practice all their chants and stuff.
Or something.
Yes, they call it midnight yell practice.
And then they're like, they hate us because we're conservative. It's like not that. It's not. No.
Just tell your dad. We hate that you can't tell your dad the truth. That's what we hate.
I know.
That's the sad part.
I do feel bad about that.
I'll send you a mug. Oh, it's black. I drank the whole tea. Look, you don't want to tell your dad. Call me up and I'll make him a video.
We could break it to him.
Yes.
We'll be happy to do this.
On the show.
We'll talk about how loving the community can be.
Yes. Oh, of course. There's a whole world outside of College Station that embraces your type.
You don't even have to kick up your knees.
You don't.
To live your best life.
You don't have to put on dungarees. You don't. None of that stuff.
Right.
Okay.
You don't have to practice. You can just be.
Just be. You could just exist. Let's do some voicemails.
Let's do it.
He's so easy to hate. Your time he likes to waste. His calls are far from great. His calls are far from great. He's such a stupid fuck. He seems down on his luck. His voicemails really suck. His voicemails really suck. No one's enjoying him. He's so annoying. Plus so fucking boring and worthless. But he's got nothing else to do. And he's even worse than ish. His thoughts are useless. Shit. He's fat and got big tits.
One voicemail.
Ballers. Hey, it's Ben 906.
Oh,
I am
Ben
absolutely
906.
gobsmacked. Listening to the Thanksgiving episode here,
Yeah.
and both Brian and Ed, you guys say that that's the only time you eat gravy all year.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I feel like I've known you guys and listened to you guys for 12 straight years.
Yeah.
I feel like I've known you guys. I feel like you guys would be gravy people. I just can't believe. Only time all year. I absolutely gobsmacked. All right. Love you all.
He's not alone in that sentiment, Ed. That's not, I believe my good man Fado's dropped a, how do I know you're not from the South? You just said you only have gravy once a year. Like, that's true.
Yeah, I love it.
It's
love
great.
it.
Yeah. I doused my whole plate. I Peter North that shit. Like it's, I'm like, more gravy.
Everything. The stuffing, the mashed potatoes. The
love
turkey.
it.
It was all doused in it. But then
Doused.
once I'm done with that gravy, then see you next November.
No, yeah, that's it. That's the last time I'm gonna have it. Unfortunately, look, I'll try to encounter more gravies. I just don't run into it very much.
Yeah,
like I'm not.
That's the thing.
I'll
I'm
make
never
it
like
myself.
going down the street and gravy's coming at me. I just
No.
don't even see it.
Yeah, it's not like, oh my God, I walked outside. You'll never believe it. Stepped in another puddle of gravy. You know,
Right.
like I didn't expect it to happen, but it's got, it just comes up on me. It's crazy. Okay, thank you for that, Ben 906. A couple of voicemails. This question is for Ed. So I recently watched a documentary about Hitler's DNA. I did this purely out of show content research, as I believe I provide a certain level of quality to this podcast. Oh, absolutely. I take my job with TBLS very seriously. I wish more people did. Yeah. So my question to Ed is this. If you have the ability to be transported back to the 1930s, wouldn't want you to get caught up in the war? And you slide up to the urinal next to De Fuhrer, are you peeping that tiny peen? Happy Thanksgiving, fellas. P.S. The source is cited below. Ed, the world demands to know. Where is this? Oh.
It's yours I made. Watch me shiver while you shake.
Ed, it's your Bill and Ted in it. You know, you go back, you got Abraham Lincoln, you got Genghis, you got fucking Socrates, you got all the dudes, and you pick up De Fuhrer himself, Adolf Hitler, like that's, and then you're like, hey guys, we all got to walk in to this McDonald's on Highway 10, and let's all go have a piss, while we're on our way to wherever. And you walk up to the urinals, and on one side of you is Adolf Hitler and his notorious micro penis, and on the other side could be anybody. Plato, Alexander the Great. I bet Alexander the Great had a big old cock.
Oh yeah,
big healthy cock. So it can't be him, because you would probably be checking him out, or even Genghis Khan. Like
couple things.
Yes.
First of all, in no way does checking out what they're working with, is that an endorsement of their policies?
No one thinks you're going to be like, he actually made some good points. He put Germany back to work.
He made a lot of roads. He
built all those roads. Wouldn't have that.
He was very kind to Blondie, his dog.
Yes. Wouldn't have that Volkswagen without him. Great car.
Right. Everything was efficient.
Yes.
Also,
tell me.
I'm in agreement. This was a great quote from Woody Allen back in the day when they asked if you could go to any point in time. He said anywhere after the polio vaccine, because I do agree with that. I would be worried that I'd be catching some weird shit going back then.
Smallpox,
yeah. But if I had the ability, to see the most infamous dick of all time, Of course I'm checking it out, and especially with the rumors of what is he working with, like some really weird looking shit. I want to see it. I want to see what he's working with.
I would say maybe Rasputin, but Rasputin's dick is in a jar, and it's massive. It's massive.
It's done some shriveling over the years, though.
Yeah, it has.
It's that time. Rasputin had some bedroom eyes.
Yeah, he did.
Beautiful eyes.
He did. And they tried to murder him like a whole bunch of times. He was unkillable. Yeah.
Unkillable until they threw him in a bag in the like icy river.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what did it? That's what finally did in Rasputin?
Yeah, I think so. They tossed him in some icy river.
That'll do it. Okay, thank you, Matthew Richards. Of course, Ed's looking at his dick. Who wouldn't? Okay, here's another one. Hi, Brian and Ed. Really enjoyed last week's show with my Twitter follow. Oh, this guy's such a bully. My Twitter follower mentioned that he's been getting attacked on Twitter. Please let me know who these bad people are. I will file a complaint. That's from G Fish.
The great G Fish.
Poor Jay Stu. He said he's been taking some incoming, and he's like sending us links where he's like, "What about the lab leak theory?" And I'm like, he's like doing Joe Rogan's show from like 5 years ago. Like what? Yeah, like buddy, like we've moved on. Okay, like we're still talking about that.
Or how about he's talking about conspiracies and the Commanders Broncos game last night? Like one team is 3-9. Like
the referees,
refs. I watched that game cheering for the Commanders. I wasn't thinking the refs are what robbed them out of the game. I thought Jaden Daniels being hurt was what robbed them of the game.
They came pretty close though. They just needed to make that 2-point convert. And look, the balls to go for it. Yeah,
Mariota, pump fake maybe. Maybe pump fake. See if you can get the ball. This guy was wide open. Wide open. Okay, and there's one more. We have an analog email.
Whoa. Subject: Apple bag. Why did I go out of focus suddenly? Intro: Ballers. Bri Becks. Is this the first ever physical mail that's been read on the podcast? This is not, by the way, because Matty LeBron, who hates when I use his government name when he sent me this hat, I read his email. Enjoy the early Christmas present, and remember, we can all be as gay as we want to be. In addition to this, I'm loving the double spacing here, by the way. In addition to this amazing mug, please find your gay membership card enclosed. I've managed to sneak a few of these into my friends' wallets and backpacks, and when they've been uncovered in public settings, like at a grocery store checkout, hilarity has ensued every time. Enjoy. Hey, who was a louder comer, John Belushi or Chris Farley? What about between Dick Vitale and Harry Carey? And it may be a bit cringeworthy, but I think we need a loudest comer in the Air Bud movies. Congratulations on your podcast's growing success. You know you've hit the big leagues when you're shilling for Zip Recruiter. I hope that Squarespace, BetterHelp, and HelloFresh are not far behind. Keep up the amazing work. We all love you. But while we're here, I have to tell you that it's a whole load of stinking bullshit that you and Ed are trying to cap the show to 45 minutes. You have too many fans to please and are very selfishly not taking us into consideration. Your extra 15 to 30 minutes every week brings too much joy to too many fans for you guys to only think of your selfish selves. Outro. That is from ToeCutter. Hashtag Rip Harambe. Hashtag Team Loudcomer. Hashtag Team Every episode. Ed.
If we do like a random movie, he'll like text me, you guys didn't even mention who the loudest comer would be.
We always forget.
Yeah, I know. And he's always reminding me that we forgot.
We should, like last week, like, I mean, I think either Steve Sanders or David Silver's mom are the loudest comers, right? Like,
yeah, because she's got that crazy energy.
Yeah, because she's addicted to opiates, so you know she has to get it out somehow. Yes, exactly. I mean, I think it's John Belushi or Chris Farley. It's obviously Chris Farley. Like Chris Farley's. Yeah,
Farley. You saw his entrance on Letterman.
Yes.
He's a loud.
He's a very loud. He's all sweaty, you know, like he's good to go. Dick Vitale or Harry Carey. Wow. Look,
Vitale.
It's got to be Vitale.
Harry Carey was
too
so drunk. He was so drunk all the time.
He can't get hard. He was so wasted.
That dude probably didn't have sex the last 50 years of his life.
No, unless he was fucking a Budweiser can, because that's what
he might have tried.
Old style. Yeah,
he might have tried.
I haven't seen the Air Bud movies. I imagine Air Bud is a pretty loud comer. That pink thing comes out of his dick. That is his dick. That is their dick.
The lipstick comes out. But I'm going to say it's going to be the clown that owned him. And then the clown that owned him. And then at the end, when they jingle the keys and they arrest the clown because Air Bud chose the boy. And it's like, he didn't do anything arrestable. His dog ran away. This kid claimed him as his own. Yeah. And they arrested him.
But it was kind of like it reminded me of the Liam Neeson vignette in the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, the Coen Brothers movie. Oh! That's it for the show. That's it. If you are a Patreon subscriber, continue listening. If you are not a Patreon subscriber, we'll see you next week. But I would say, hey, consider becoming a Patreon subscriber.
We got lots of dong talk ahead.
Absolutely. Patreon subscribers, stay tuned. We're going on.
Well, it's time now for sports segment on Lifestyle Podcast. Not sports. I'm talking about the segment now. Not sports segment.
Ed, why is everybody mad at Mike Tomlin? I did watch Aaron Rodgers last night, and he was kind of like doing that,
blaming the team, right? Yeah, he was blaming everyone.
Yeah, he kind of was doing that thing where he's like, "Hey, man, I'm not going there. I know what you want me to do, and I'm just not doing it," which is kind of like a bitch.
Going there.
Yeah, he's a hoe. Like Aaron Rodgers is a hoe. Like you're only there for the year. You know, you should be like, "Hey, I'm just happy to be here. I don't give a fuck what they do. I'm only here for fucking 17 games."
Mike Tomlin has been there like probably close to 17 years.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
And he's never had a losing record.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers gets there, and all of a sudden the stink is on. And I think they have a winning record now.
They do. Yeah. They do. They just got smashed yesterday.
And Rodgers, he's a toxic individual. He's a bad person.
Yeah, I agree with you. What's going on in the world of things that are not sports?
Paul confirmed the rumors are true. Frank Sinatra had a huge penis. He saw it in a sauna, I believe.
These guys used to love to sauna. Yeah. They just go in there and get their cocks out.
Balls out.
Just sauna. They go, go to their club.
Really got the appeal of a sauna. Like when I work out, I sweat and stuff. I don't understand just sitting there to sweat. I don't get it. It's never been a thing that I did.
Yeah, I do. It does feel kind of good. I do like it, but I wait. No, the sauna is the one I like, not the steam. The steam.
I thought that's what a sauna is.
No, the sauna's dry. The sauna's the dry one with all the wood. And you go in there, it's just hot as fuck, and then you sweat. The steam, that's what these guys would do. They'd go have a steam. Let's have a schwitz. Let's get a schwitz. I can't say it right. And they'd go have their cocks out in the steam room, and of course, I bet Frank Sinatra had that fuck. Because look, Frank Sinatra was he's from Hoboken, where Ed lives. He's 5'3". The guy was tiny. He had mob ties. He was a talk singer.
A bit of a to scale situation, like Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah,
he's gonna have to have a ridiculously sized penis for someone to say, "Oh, he's got a huge dick," because
he's so huge.
He's a huge human.
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra was like a spindly 5'5" guy.
Yeah.
So he probably looked like he was all meat whistle.
Yeah. What about Brandon Spikes though? Was that to scale? I mean,
oh my God, that's the thing.
He's a huge guy.
I saw that because I am so close to it, and it was like a fucking fire hose. It was crazy.
That's a lot of dick. Yeah. I imagine, but I even think like to scale, because look. Well, it is kind of so. Remember that porno that we saw with a little person that played Santa's helper, and he had a good sized cock.
But it was a good size. But to us, it looked ridiculously large.
Yeah.
And maybe it
It's a
wasn't.
small body.
Yeah. So I'm not denying that. I'm sure he was working with something pretty significant, but on a spindly 5'5" guy.
Yeah. They say, and this would be a better question for the Ball Lifestyle Podcast after show, which I understand they mostly discuss their favorite wrestlers and porno actresses. So I wouldn't know about this, but they say that porno ladies are generally very tiny women. And that's because it on camera, it reads better to have a large penis, yes, they're like jockeys. And so their little hands on that big old dong. And look, those dudes do have big dongs, but they look extra big on camera because it's a very tiny little woman handling the penis. My ex-therapist, Ed, and we've talked about him on this show before. And we're in the Patreon, we're in the Patreon portion of the show right now, so we can talk about it. He's the one that he would like. I would be like
tiny hands.
He's an actor, and he was on he was on Mad Men. Yeah. And so, but he would always, I'd be like, hey, look, my marriage isn't going too well. I'm kind of doing some things I shouldn't be doing. And he'd be like, well, don't tell her. And that was the kind of advice he would give me. And, which in hindsight probably wasn't the best advice, but he had way too many thoughts on porno and like dick sizes and stuff. And he would like wedge it into the conversation. And I don't know, we'd be kind of talking about sex, and he'd be like, their cocks aren't even that big. He's like, they just make it seem like that. And I'm like, what the fuck? Or what is this conversation?
We were talking about my relationship with my parents, but thank you for that.
Yes. And then later, after he was no longer my therapist, and this is on my Instagram, by the way, it's a highlight called Shit Got Weird, which I should have taken down, but I keep forgetting to do. Later, after he was no longer my therapist, he started, I think he went back. He was an older guy. I think he got back on like crack and shit, because he started sending me we talked about it here. He started sending me weird texts in the middle of the night with like porno links and like links to his location.
Inappropriate relationship with a patient.
Yes, dude. It was not ideal. I don't see him anymore. I haven't seen him I don't know if he's still hanging in there, but he would like overshare with me all the time. I can't remember how we got on big cocks. Yes. Frank Sinatra, very big cock. Johnny Fontaine.
The ex-fiance.
Yeah.
The ex-fiance of journalist Olivia Nuzzi.
I don't know.
Has published.
What I do know is I need to get to know this chick quickly. Go on.
Yeah. Has published a Substack series outlining her affair with RFK Jr. In it, the Health and Human Services Secretary wrote poetry to her fantasizing about felching.
Jesus,
this dude is
Ed, what kind of show do you think this is? Just bringing up this stuff.
And it's great. She wrote this glowing op-ed, and then her ex-fiance is like, yeah, they were fucking it. And I read all their messages, and they were filthy.
Yeah. Now, isn't she like 32 or something? And he's like 75, and he's not the first 70-year-old she's had affairs with.
Right.
Like, what is going, like, first of all, I need an interview.
I believe there's, you get a glowing review from her if you do that.
Yes. Yeah. It's smart.
If you're old Joe Biden,
not so much.
She didn't like him so much because there was nothing he was giving her.
Yeah, I would hate to hear Jay Stu weigh in on this. Now, Ed, let's talk about felching. Felching is, I thought that was only what gay men did.
That's what I thought. It was a butthole gay man thing.
Yeah. Now felching for the uninitiated. And look, I only know this because I do a podcast. That is where one man
retrieving what you've delivered.
He ejaculates into the other man's rectum. And what goes in must come out. And then then the other man sort of forces it out, and the way you force things out of that part of your body. And the other guy likes that, or, it gets it back, I guess. He's like, hey, give me that stuff. That used to be mine.
This is the guy's agenda for America.
Yes.
He's really into felching.
No one's into that though, Ed. And look,
I read some of the quotes. It's like he's waxing poetic about how he wants to retrieve every ounce of his love or some shit.
Love? He called it love? Disgusting. Oh my God.
It's so good.
Can you impeach secretaries? Ed, I think you can. Impeach this man.
I think when he tied a whale to the roof of his car, there's enough. This guy's a crazy person.
His bear, yes. Health and humans.
Attractive.
Yeah, she's got kind of a big chin, right?
Yeah. There's one angle that she looks a little bit like Dudley Do-Right with the chin.
Yeah, got a little bit of a horse face, but that's all right. Look, she's very young. Ryan Lizza, 51, claimed he learned about felching only after combing through the salacious text messages and raunchy poems. Who fucking writes a poem? And also, I can't get over how much...
Who writes poems? People in their 70s, because they think that's what...
Yeah.
Anybody south of 50 or south of 60 is like, poem? I'm not doing that.
I can't get over how much this guy looks like one of those troll things, one of those leprechaun. They were from the movie Leprechaun, and then they became the troll bad guys in that Ernest Scared Stupid movie that we reviewed here. This Robert F. Kennedy, his whole face skin looks exactly like one of those. He's hard to look at.
He's like an old leather bag.
Yes. Written to Nuzzy from RFK Jr. during their 2023-2024 emotional affair, sarcastically joking, "Thanks, Bobby." Okay, hold on. Felching is a term used for when one sexual partner sucks semen out of another partner's anus or vagina. Now, this is the first time I've heard the vagina included. I've only heard it the first way.
But again, like you said, I've only known it to be a gay act.
Me too. Like,
what is in Dumb and Dumber when they talk about his ex-girlfriend, Frida Felcher?
Yeah, right. Fair. I wonder, we discussed on this show the hanky code. What color hanky is required if you're into felching? I think brown is just anal. So maybe that includes felching. That's just add on. That's bonus.
Brown with a white border.
White. Yes, that would be it. According to following unprotected penetrative sex, according to the National Institute of Health, which RFK Jr. leads as part of in charge of the people that defined what it is.
Maybe if he gets elected, we can get the ShamWow guy in there to tell him some more serious tips.
Well, that would be better for cleaning up the felching. He would have a device for that.
He would get that butthole nice and clean.
I figured you would do that first. The term was first coined in the 1970 book, The Argot of the Homosexual Subculture, written by Ronald A. Farrell, and is considered a fairly common sex act in the gay community. Gays.
Come on.
949.
Doesn't have to be like this.
949-646. Wait, is it? Yeah, 646 TBLS 8257. Call me or mailbag at theballerlifestyle.com. I need a felcher. Any felchers in the audience, please reach out and explain the process of felching to us. Fairly common. I would say it's not. If the felcher has, why do they got to ruin it? If the felcher has gonorrhea, chlamydia, syphilis, HIV, hepatitis B, or herpes, consuming their own semen could result in serious illnesses. And in fact, I don't think that's true. It came out of you.
Also,
you can't get a disease from yourself.
Your breath is going to be terrible.
Yeah. It wouldn't be ideal.
It's not good.
And here's the thing, Ed, I'm looking at a picture of these two, and this Ryan Lizza is claiming he learned about felching. This man is felched. I can tell by the picture. This guy, he's got the glasses.
I gotta look at that.
This guy is a fucking lifelong felcher, Ryan Lizza.
Oh God, that first picture of RFK. He's like,
yes, I'm telling you, he looks like a leprechaun.
This picture, he definitely has.
Yeah.
I've maybe he used a straw, but he's definitely sucked.
Yeah. Oh, yes, of course. Maybe he used a straw. Felching was referred to in a bombshell confessional article from former Politico journalist Ryan Lizza, who detailed one raunchy poem written to his ex-fiancée Olivia Nutsey by alleged horn dog RFK Jr. Your mouth. Oh, and I like how he does the Gen Z your YR. Your open mouth awaiting my harvest?
I can't. And the more pictures I see of her, I know my harvest. The more pictures I see of her, I can't tell if she looks more like Jay Leno or Kirk Douglas with that.
She's got a lot of chin.
It's a whole lot.
It's a lot of chin. I mean to squeeze your cheeks, to force open your mouth. I'll hold your nose as you look up at me to encourage you to swallow. Don't spill a drop. I'm a river, you are my canyon. I mean to flow through you. I mean to subdue and tame you. My love. Wow. This guy is no wonder he's getting the puss. Like he's a real Cyrano de Bergerac.
Dude cannot stop.
He can't. He's unstoppable.
Jeffrey Epstein
How's
had a
he
small
he had an egg-shaped cock. Yeah.
Still did. Had a small deformed penis that looked like a lemon, according to the victim. And I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
My first thought, you don't want to be deformed, but I was like, lemon girth-wise, it's pretty good.
It's fat, but I've also heard egg shape. I picture it kind of looking like one of those Russian nesting dolls. That shape, you know, like fat towards the base.
Stubby.
Yeah, a chode. I believe they call that a chode. A stubby dong like that.
You know, it's a shame to smear the dead because he's going to start to get a bad reputation if his victims are going to, talk about his penis.
It's not. He's not here to defend himself.
Right. We don't know, and we'll never know. And so it's
we'll never know.
This guy's going to start to get a bad name. Like people are going to start to say, like, I used to think highly of Jeffrey Epstein, but now I'm hearing about this lemon-shaped penis.
I thought he was a good guy. Made a lot of money.
Probably a weirdo.
Apparently.
A UK. This is wild to me. A UK truck driver was hospitalized after eating nearly 7 pounds of gummy cola bottles in 3 days. 7 pounds.
That's a lot.
If you get a 16-ounce bag, I'm not gonna lie. I could go for a gummy cola bottle, like a couple of them right now.
Yeah, I absolutely could. Like I'm reading this and I can't remember. I probably haven't had one since I was 12, but I would have.
Right, but now. I remember loving them. I haven't had. I don't. Maybe it's only a UK thing these days. I haven't seen one in America.
I haven't seen. You know what? I haven't seen them around, but I would like one.
But it sounds like it'd be good. 7 pounds seems like, buddy, you might want to be thinking your life choices.
Yeah. Yeah, one time, friend of the show, Super Lee, sent me a pillowcase sized bag of those Albanese.
Oh, he sent them to me too. They were great.
They were so good. They're so good. They're so soft. And
they're way better than Haribo.
Yeah, and I had them in a bag, like as you'd walk out of the kitchen, like up in the cupboard up there, and I'd go in there and I'd fucking grab a handful. And there were some nights I was drinking bourbon, like on a Friday night. I'd have probably 5-6 handfuls of those fucking Albanese gummy bears. And I'll tell you what, made me feel like shit. I didn't feel very good after I ate them all. Imagine 7 fucking pounds. Now, we don't need to highlight again Hugh Hefner, who it turns out, not a very good person.
Oh, yeah.
He would drink upwards of 20 Pepsis a day. And I'm going to say, I would guess that I haven't had 20 Pepsis in my life.
Pepsis, no.
I've
had like 20 Cokes. I've never had 20 Pepsis. Of
course. Yeah. I didn't grow up in a Pepsi community. I've definitely had Pepsi, but it's few and far between the amount of Pepsis I've had. This Hugh Hefner would have 20 to a case of Pepsis a day, and then he would have 3 pounds of M&Ms every single day. In his robe, he would just have them in the pockets, and he'd just be snacking on multiple pounds of peanut, I think, M&Ms all day long. And then he would supplement that with red vines, Ed. So he was fine, and he was skinny.
He's skinny. I just thinking about it. I don't think I would say maybe one. I've maybe had one Pepsi in adulthood, maybe one.
Yeah. So I remember there was a place when I was like 20 years old, and I was working at the hardware store with some guys, and we'd show up hungover, and one of us would get elected to drive to this breakfast burrito place and get everybody breakfast burritos. And we would go, and they only had Pepsi. It was a Pepsi place, and we're fucking hungover. So we'd all get a big ass Pepsi with our breakfast burritos. That was 30 years ago. That I am gonna assume that was the last time I had a Pepsi. I don't recall having had a Pepsi since then. Maybe I have. I don't know.
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
Confirms he legally changed his middle name to Macaulay Culkin.
That's great.
Why
didn't I think of that?
I think I read that he like did a online poll and then just changed it to that.
Oh, that's like Bodie McBoatface.
Yeah, I think it was one of those things. Like, what should my middle name be? Maybe he didn't have a middle name. And obviously, I could have read the article, but I prefer to just read
I
headlines.
like it. Yeah, I like what you said better. Now, one wonders, like, I'm not really tuned into the world around us. Like every week, one of these influencers dies. I've never heard of them. And look, I was watching football this weekend, and I haven't heard of most of the players. Who's the running back for the Panthers? Chuba Hubbard. Never heard of that guy before. He's going off. Yeah, he was going off. So I don't know anybody. I'm not really tuned into the world. I could tell you a lot about the band Wilco and the LA Dodgers. Like I'm tuned into those subjects.
About Jauan Jennings now.
I know Jauan Jennings a hoe. Like there's certain things I know, but mostly that I've picked up from this show. But one wonders, like, who's getting updated on what Macaulay Culkin's up to every day? Like who's the fan base for this?
Yeah,
of course he does.
Well, but I assume there is interest in him around this time of year because people are watching Home Alone. They're like, "Hey, what's he up to?" He's like, "Hey, by the way, everybody, I know everybody knows my brother because he got super famous, but
he had that weird relationship with the
executive lady.
Yeah. What was her name? She was very good on that show.
She was great.
Yeah.
And he's a good actor.
He is. Yeah. He is a good actor. How many Instagram followers do you think Macaulay Culkin has? Oh, he's got an Asian wife.
I'm going to say Macaulay Culkin has 300,000.
He's on tour, Ed. 35th anniversary screening with Macaulay Culkin live Home Alone tour. Oh, November 22nd in Long Beach. I just missed him, Ed. San Jose. What's the date today? That's the 1st.
It's the 1st. Do you know the way to San Jose?
He's in Tampa on the 4th, Ed. Tampa, Rochester, December 6th. Oh, Atlantic City, New Jersey, December 7th, Ed. Denver, Colorado, December 9th. Somebody call
the
Dola.
Downside is you have to go to Atlantic City.
Yeah, right. Dude, you know what? Atlantic City, like, I've never been there. And I'm not like one of these white males that's terrified of cities. Like everyone's like, oh my God, San Francisco. I'd rather kill myself.
I live in a city.
Yeah, cities are great. I love cities. I will say this. Atlantic City seems terrifying. Like it seems like a very scary place. Yes.
Well, I guess parts certainly are. It's one of these places that the casinos were supposed to uplift the community.
Yeah, does that ever happen? Yeah.
It's the trickle down. Despite how trickle down economics always works, it didn't really work for the community. So Atlantic City is just very gaudy casinos. Some of them are like more modern. The Trump ones were all shitty, but like there are some like nicer ones in terms of like if you want that casino experience, they have like the nice pool now. They have that kind of stuff. But like, and I could fuck with a White House sub shop in Atlantic City. Delicious.
Oh, they do a good sandwich.
They do.
Yeah.
But there are so many. Most parts of Atlantic City are just, you feel like just that they've been left behind kind of thing. I'm sure there's crime levels, but it's not a city I feel unsafe as much as like it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, So you're not worried that you're going to get stuck walking down the boardwalk. But
no. I think
it's just like a bummer.
People aren't getting killed on the boardwalk.
Yeah.
But like you go a few blocks west of the boardwalk, and you're like,
Yeah.
look at this plight.
I just looked here, and the very first post, the pinned post on Macaulay Culkin's page, my sister liked it. So like, look.
So, yeah.
That's so. And look, my sister's 40, and so is.
Heal thyself. You need to look in house.
Yeah, I know. It's I gotta start asking around. And look, I'm seeing other people I know have liked his posts. So look, again, I'm not clued in to what's going on in the world. Like, I didn't realize that this
was a delightful child actor.
No, he's
Uncle
great.
Buck.
Very talented. Oh, he's so
Alone.
cute, Uncle Buck.
Oh.
And also, you said 300 and so. Oh, yeah. These 23 people I know follow Macaulay Culkin. Oh, including the woman I'm dating. My sister's on here.
Like an in-house problem you've got.
Yes. This is crazy.
So how many followers does he have?
Oh, 2.1 million. Yeah. Yeah. I know.
So pretty much everyone listening to us, Brad.
Yeah. Everyone knows who this guy is. We're the idiots.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
This is a story you're going to want to click on and see the images. Unemployed son dressed as his dead mom to collect her pension in Mrs. Doubtfire scam while hiding her body at home. Italian dude.
Victimless crime. This guy's a genius. Like, what did he do wrong?
He looks like his mom.
Whoa. Ed, why would you do that to me, dude?
Because if I'm haunted, so are you.
Jesus Christ. This is, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, I want to close it, but I don't want to look at it. God damn it. I'm trying to get I got to close. I'm just trying to look at the X. Hold on. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, okay. She reminded me of, Escape from Alcatraz.
Yeah.
Where they made the fake bodies and the fake heads.
Yes.
And the fucking fake heads were terrifying. I remember I watched like an In Search Of. There used to be the show when we were kids called In Search Of, and it was narrated by Leonard Nimoy, and it was all like terrifying phenomenons. And then once
the music that they'd play scared the shit out of me.
Fuck In Search Of. And then they also like once in a while they'd throw in like it'd be like the Nazca lines or something, crop circles, and they'd be like, "Ooh, we don't know, unexplained phenomena." And then suddenly there'd be like, "Oh, by the way, the Zodiac killer's still out there." And you'd be like, "Geez, I'm 6."
Yeah, we haven't solved anything. And
yes.
I hope you're okay. Your backyard, none of these people are lurking.
Yeah, coming through your window. So, and I feel like that. I feel like it was something like that where I saw the Escape from Alcatraz heads for the first time. Not the movie with Telly Savalas, which is also a very good movie, and Fred Ward, the great Fred Ward, Remo Williams.
Remo, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Finally, this is going to be a surprising story. Smokey Robinson facing a new sexual battery claim, this time from a man. He said he tried to force my hand on his erection. Brian, my question to you is this. Can the creator of the great album Gasms maybe be a little too into sex?
We discovered on the show a couple years ago.
This Black Friday gift clean retainer.
Oh, I was trying to call up. I was trying to surprise you with Gasms, but of course I didn't have it muted properly. This Smokey Robinson, he came out with this album Gasms
like recently.
Like as an 85-year-old man, he's singing about gasms, and he looks like an 85-year-old woman, and he's singing about gasms here. I mean, it's kind of a pop. Oh, here we go.
And what I see is you and me together forever. I'm knocking on wood.
Yes, this is big.
Every kind of gasm in the book. Each eye has 'em. Every time I take a look, give me gasm.
Gasms.
You're the one responsible.
This is music you fucked to.
You're the one responsible for my gasm.
How about these background singers? Like, hey, what did you do in the studio today? I just sung gasms over and over again.
That's a paycheck, you know. For Ed Daly, for 90-something-year-old Smokey Robinson singing about gasms and grabbing dudes by the dick. You're not gonna tell me the gasms guy's grabbing people by the dick or putting people's hand on his dick. Impossible. For Ed Daly, my name is Brian Beckner. We're singing about gasms, and we will see you next week.
Goodbye. Eargasm.
Soft and sweet, or the kind the neighbors hear.
The lyrics. That song.
Somebody needs to pull this